put on your helmet because I'm going to be ranting a little bit. But let's start without the rant. So let's just talk about Twitter Blue for $8 a month. I know a lot of people are ranting at this. I'm not ranting at this. I think that this is great. It serves so many purposes. They can offer you Twitter Blue. All you need to do is KYC. So you have to show who you are. And the nice thing about that is that anyone who's got the blue check mark really does get noticed, and it is a bullish thing on Twitter, a very bullish thing. So if you use Twitter for business in any way, you want the blue tick. $8 a month for most people who would have value with a blue tick is not a huge amount of money. So I think it's great. And Twitter for too long has not been.
Hold on. I don't think you get the blue verification for $8 a month. You still have to get verified, but you have to have Twitter Blue. But you don't also get the check mark. The check mark comes the way it always did, but you have to have Twitter Blue to even qualify for it. And then you also pay on top of it. So Twitter Blue, I believe, is still being paid for, but for 90% of people, you're not going to get the verification. And so I don't know how it's going to go because all other social media platforms don't charge just to play, and Twitter now is. So I'm not sure how this is going to play, but. Yeah.
So my understanding, and I could be wrong, my understanding is that you can get verified for $8 a month if you KYC. And the reason he's doing that, and this is my understanding, I stand to be corrected, but I'm pretty sure the reason he's doing that is because he then knows who you are, right? Mm-hmm. Or Twitter then knows who you are. So if you then spam someone or scam someone or whatever, he can remove that check mark, but the person that's been scammed will also have recourse with Twitter because they now know it's Cade Bergman living wherever. Yeah. So that's why it's sort of a win-win and that's why he was saying it's going to allow them to get rid of the bots, right?
Yeah, sure.
Because why? Because Musk tweeted he's revamping the verification process that powers the social media platform. For the first time in Twitter's history, Musk plans to start charging users to maintain the check mark by marking up Twitter Blue. Okay, so he's integrating the check mark into Twitter Blue.
If you're verified, yes.
The blue check mark doesn't necessarily equate to credibility, especially when it comes to social media. At the beginning of the year, so with Elon taking over, we know for its support. Twitter planned to verify ownership with the help of OpenSea and other parties. The number of blue check marks shot up. The hexagon-shaped NFT became a new status symbol. Mixed results from NFT. I think it's definitely got something to do with verified wallets, Cade.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't know. I heard a couple different things the last couple of days as well. And then in the TikTok fam, because I'm streaming this on TikTok as well. You're 24. Can you take trend? I would not. If you're an average Discord mod, is taking trend going to help you out? I don't think taking steroids is going to help you as a Discord mod. Thoughts on Hasbulla? Dude, wait, do you have any thoughts on Hasbulla? Do you know Hasbulla?
No, none.
Bro, stop. You don't know who Hasbulla is? The little kid, the Russian kid who's like 25 years old, but he looks like a 5-year-old. He's like viral. He like for all these fighting things. Okay, well, anyways, my thoughts on Hasbulla. I think it's weird that he's 25 and people treat him like he's 7 and he acts like he's 7. It's weird, but it's fine. He's playing into the role for social media. It's fine.
All right, so we got here. It says the $8 is the first step. Many crypto experts feel Elon will implement Dogecoin. Yeah, so that's what I'm getting onto next. Is first of all, this was from Elon Musk saying they're trying to destroy free speech in America. A free speech platform should integrate freedom money, is what he called it. Hashtag Bitcoin. So we all know that Elon loves Dogecoin. However, we also all know that Dogecoin is shit. So
he doesn't mind it, bro. He's talked about it. He's like, I like the way it runs.
No. But what I'm saying, Cade, their network can only support like 30 simultaneous transactions, bro. So how are you going to make Dogecoin the currency of a social media platform that's got like over 1 billion users when it can only do 30 transactions simultaneously? Sure. So there's no way that Dogecoin in its current form, the way it is at the moment, could be the only currency of Twitter. He very well wants to integrate blockchain. We see that. He's even tweeting it, but it will be a mixture. It will be Bitcoin, Ethereum, in my opinion, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Dogecoin, or maybe one or two others, right? But it can't be just Dogecoin. It won't work unless they do an upgrade sort of merge and change their chain.
Yeah, I would not put it past him. I could definitely see that happen.
Yeah, that's easier said than done. We saw how long it took Vitalik to do that on Ethereum. I mean, it's complicated.
Yeah.
So we see Elon wanting to do that. Okay, so that's that. Bro, this is where I'm angry. Did you see this, Cade, today? The email that he sent to half of the staff of Twitter.
No, what happened?
Okay, so hold on. Oh, this is the email that he sent to half of the staff. Hello, and hold on, and this is the first correspondence he's had with the staff. Okay, hello. I was going to do an Elon Musk voice, but I don't know how to. I wish I could. Can you, Cade?
Let's see. How does he sound like?
I don't know. It sounds a bit like a robot.
I don't think I can do it. Do you want me to read it?
No, I can read it, but unless you could do an Elon Musk voice.
Nah, I'll fuck it up. I don't even remember what he sounds like.
Should we make it British? Hello. As shared earlier today. Okay, that's Australian, I think. All right, anyway. Hello. As shared earlier today, Twitter is conducting a workforce reduction to help improve the health of the company. These decisions are never easy, and it is with regret that we write to inform you that your role at Twitter has been impacted. Today is your last working day at the company. However, you'll remain employed by Twitter and will receive compensation and benefits through your separation date of February the 2nd, 2023. During this time, you'll be a non-working notice period and access to Twitter systems will be deactivated. While you are not expected to work during the non-working notice period, you are still required to comply with all the company policies, including the employee playbook and code of conduct. Within a week, you'll receive details of your severance offer, financial resources extended beyond your non-working notice period. At the time, you will also receive a separation agreement and release of claim. So look, I understand very, very well about putting the business's requirements first. In the end of the day, if the business is not sustainable financially, there's no staff in 10 years' time, let alone half of them. So for the betterment of the business, I'm 100% on board with doing what you need to ensure that the business survives above any individual. However, to send an email like this out to staff is just unacceptable, in my opinion. Completely unacceptable. Staff are people with families, and to lose your job is very, very difficult for anyone, especially if you've got kids in school and whatever. And to get an email like this that is just so impersonal and so cold is an absolute disgrace. I don't care how many fucking billions you have, treat everybody with respect. And that's not being done here. And let me tell you, I respected Elon hugely, and I still respect him for certain things. But this is not the way to act. It's not the way to act. It's not the way to treat human beings. There's ways to do it. You can sit down, have group meetings with 15 people at a time, and person face-to-face explain to them that the company needs to make very hard decisions in order for them to. This is not acceptable. I'm really unhappy. I don't think this is the way to treat people.
I'm going to take the total opposite approach. I don't think there's any other way to do this. He came in because he hated everything that Twitter was being run. The way that Twitter was being run. And so a 50% cut. I mean, I wasn't expecting 50%, but I expected a lot of people to get fired. And my dad actually was fired from a tech startup literally 2 weeks ago. And he's like literally top of the game in one of the number one companies in Silicon Valley. And they fired him because it was just out of nowhere too. And like this is happening all across the board in all tech companies, especially startups right now. But everyone's getting fucked. And this is how it's happening for everyone. So this isn't unique to Twitter or Elon. This has been happening in every single tech. I know it's not good. I know it's not good, but at the same time.
It's not that he's letting go half of the force. It's the way that he's doing it.
I don't see a problem with this though. Like this is how I'd expect to get fired. This is how I've been fired. Like I know it sucks and that some people don't take it the way that I might take it, which is just like, oh fuck, all right, well I guess I'll find a job. I also think that life's pretty much unfair as fuck, and this is more blunt and probably a little bit more too direct for a lot of people, but I don't know, man. I just don't have that much sympathy for these things. It's like this kind of thing happens, and like I know it sucks, and I know people are humans, but like this is just life. Sometimes you just get fired, and I don't know, man. I mean, when Elon came, if I was working at Twitter, I'd be preparing to get fired anyway. Like if I was working at Twitter, I know he hates everything and the way it's being run. So I'm like, okay, he probably hates half the departments here. A lot of people are about to get fired no matter what, because he's about to make big changes. So I don't know. I'm indifferent as to that, but that's me personally. Like if I got fired, I wouldn't mind being fired like that versus another way. But that's just speaking for me. So
when your dad got laid off, did they sit face to face with him?
No, he just got an email one day. They're like, done. Sorry. And he was like, a very important part of the company too. It was just, they were like, this department is not 100% necessary, so we got to cut it. And so that was literally how it happened. And
how did he react to it?
I mean, I'm sure his ego was hit because he was like, damn, I really got chosen to not come back. Like that sucks. And he was kind of like butthurt for probably an hour. And then he was like, well, I need a fucking job. So I'm like top of my company. I just have to go and find a job somewhere else. So now he's interviewing at different places. And hold on, I got to take this call or grab this package. I'll be back in 20 seconds. This will not take 2 minutes. This will take actually 30 seconds because I know they're right here. I'll be right back. We'll continue.
So, Cade, I completely disagree with you. I think you're wrong. And if I've been able to persuade you, then just keep quiet. And if you say nothing, then I know you agree with me. Great. Okay, so Cade and I are on the exact same page over here. This is not the way to treat people. I don't care who you are. I think that there's ways to do it that you still lay off half of your force if that's what's needed, but you do it with a more of a human approach and a more caring approach. Because I just don't think someone who's been employed by what's now your company and given of themselves or any person deserves to be treated like this. So I'm maintaining my stance over here. Let's see what we got in the comments. Let's remove Cade because you never know with him. It might be longer. Stop. He's giving you until February to find a new job. Yeah, no, fine. I understand. I understand what you're saying. I could find 5 jobs. I understand. It's not that he's laying them off. It's not that he's giving them severance. He's doing. That's all fine. I just think it's so cold. I don't know. I just think it's so cold. I mean, this can turn someone's life upside down. I don't know. What's interesting is that we've got the, we're not technically in a recession, and some of the numbers that are coming out, the jobs numbers are surprisingly decent. But there is a recession on the way, and we're starting to see a lot of tech companies prepare in advance for the recession, which we don't usually see. Usually, you enter a recession, everyone starts struggling, companies start struggling, and they start laying off. We don't typically see people saying, okay, look, we expect there to be a recession in the first or second technical recession, a proper official recession in the first quarter or second quarter of next year. And therefore, we're laying people off now. And that's interesting with this time. It seems to be different than it was before.
Yo, what did I miss? Sorry, that was like the worst timing, but I needed to get those packages. I couldn't miss that one.
No problem. You completely agreed with all of my points.
exactly that.
And you owe me $7,800.
Wait, hold on. So can we discuss it and like have a proper discussion about it because we have separate opinions on it?
Yeah.
Because you're probably thinking more from like potentially an employer perspective, and I've never been an employer. Like I've never had, a dozen employees or 5 employees even. Do you think that has a difference in it? Like,
yeah, I think. Look, I've never obviously been employing 7,800 people, right? I've got 12 people on my payroll, so straight away, if I think that I've got to deliver really bad news, straight away, I think the most human way to do it is in person.
True.
Is face to face and just play open cards. That's it. No matter what that news is, if it's negative news, play complete open cards. And so maybe it's because I've never had that scale or even close to that scale. Yeah. That for me, it just seems really, really cold to do it that way.
It might be. Yeah. Or it is.
It
But
might just be that, maybe it's that. So
do you
maybe
think?
that's
I mean, he worked at Tesla, right? So he came from Tesla and SpaceX, which are his babies. He's already the main dude there for any. He's always the main dude, but he's run SpaceX and Tesla for the last couple of years, right? Being the main man and the guy who started it. This time he comes into Twitter, it's a different story, but he's still Elon thinking like Elon, which is why I think for him, he doesn't give a fuck. He's like, oh, I'll just fire everybody, because that's how he does it at Tesla and SpaceX, because he's the main guy. And now he is the main guy at Twitter, but I think he's just going in with like an iron fist, and he's just like making sure people know that he doesn't give a fuck about anyone. And I don't know, like, I mean, just in my experience, or not even in my experience, it just sounds like at a certain level of business, that's just how it is. Like, it's just cold. It's just like, well,
you see, I'm coming from just my small knowledge of how I do things. The other side of it is that I think people are people, and you should be treating. If I was interviewing Elon Musk, or if I was interviewing the waiter who helped me serve me or fill my gas, I want to try and treat those people the same, because just because someone is low on the ladder doesn't mean that, and I'm high on the ladder, doesn't mean that I'm better, and doesn't mean that I'll be higher on the ladder forever. I could very well be that waiter, and I've always been mindful of that. I've tried my best to treat people on any level, higher or lower than me, with the same amount of respect. Other thing is that I know how important people are to a business. I'm very important to a business. Like, that's mostly what I do all day, is just deal with freaking PR, HR, human resources, people, and all of that shit, and find good people, keep good people retained and happy. So I just think you shouldn't burn bridges with 3,500 tech guys either, just on a selfish perspective, because maybe 2-3 years. 2-3 years you scale, and now you need 3,500 people. No one in the tech industry is going to want to come to you. On the other side, if you're just looking at it from the business perspective, like you saying, if you're offering the best the best pay package in the space at that time, they will come back to you. So I don't know.
Also, like, we don't know how it's being run. Like, we only saw that like statement, right, and like that article and stuff. Like, we don't know how it was run in headquarters. Maybe each team leader came and called a meeting with everyone who was fired and said, okay, like, let's talk about, like, let's help you get another job. Like, you already have your severance package, but we're also going to help everyone who was fired who wants to apply. We'll help you get another job. Like, you're more than qualified, obviously, if you've been working here. Like, I hope it was like that for the exact reason you said, of having to need them to hire back later, which will probably happen. Otherwise they're going to go to Meta, and then Meta's going to fight them. Because I assume if Elon's taking over Twitter, he's gonna. I mean, I covered this in the stream, guys. If you didn't see the Tea Time episode about Elon and Arc Gobblers, but when he mentioned on multiple occasions that he's gonna think about, as a joke, bringing back Vine, that's not a fucking joke, dude. If he really does what I think he'll do, which is take over the world like Elon wants to do, and he has one of the biggest social media platforms, he's gonna take Twitter and try and make that a TikTok-like social media app. He wants people to be on there longer. The only thing Twitter is missing is video, and I'm fucking all for that. I'm like,
I don't see it.
I hope so. I hope it does. I'm putting it out there because I want it to happen.
The way I see it, I see it as he wants Twitter to be the Web3 town square, the town square of the future. So almost like another Discord, right? Like a better Discord. That's where the Web3 community is. He's Web3. He's in the trenches. He really does understand, not technically Web3, but he's a DJ. Right? He really is, right? He really gets it. Whereas you've got your Mark Zuckerberg, who's doesn't understand Web3 at all, is busy in his ivory tower in the metaverse somewhere, in his castle in the metaverse, and is not feet on the ground. Whereas Elon Musk is. So I think he wants, at least partly, I think he wants it to be the town square of the future, being Web3. And I think we're going to see a lot of community stuff like a Discord being rolled out. Definitely NFTs, definitely crypto wallets, and a decentralized town square is what I think he wants to do. Don't think he's too. Yes, you can do video. Yes, you could. I don't think he really wants to go the TikTok social media side. I think he wants to retain what's there to some degree, but make it Web3.
I don't know, dude. Keeping it Web3 is like counterintuitive to growing to the masses, though. Like you don't want to do that. It's like counterintuitive to grow the app. Like you're gonna
No,
right?
no, because in 10 years, 15 years, everything's going to be Web3.
But that's what I'm
So this
saying.
isn't going
So
to
like
happen
to
overnight.
grow a little Web3 niche app doesn't make any sense if Web3 is just going to go to the masses. You're going to need the
No,
masses.
no. He'll keep the masses. He's going to keep the masses. They don't need much. They're quite happy with Twitter as it is. Oh, a little bit of this, a little bit of that, maybe a bit less bots and spam, and a little. I think he's going to really foster the Web3 side of it. So keep what it is. Everyone's welcome, and you can still do the same things. You don't need a crypto wallet in order to be on Twitter. You can pay your $8 with a credit card. But he's gonna continue looking after the Web3 side of it. So as we see integrating NFTs, he's already talking about integrating crypto as a currency, and so on and so forth. So that when it does get there in 10 years' time, he's got the best infrastructure and loyalty from the Web3 community.
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely going to be focusing on revenue the next few years, figuring out ways to at least, if not make revenue, to set out the roads to make that revenue in the next few years. So I guess, yeah, it's probably going to go in line with what brings revenue back to the business, which I don't know what
I think he needs to do that. I wonder if these 3,500 people that he's firing, because there's also legal action now that he can't do it like this and whatever. I wonder if there was any method to his madness. So what I mean is, was it just like the last 3,500 people who started working in the company are gone?
No,
or was
no
there
way.
some way? How in a week can you see whether 3,500 people are performing or not?
Well, he knows what's not helpful and he knows what needs to be. That's why I think Vine, the style of bringing back some video for the more social, for people to spend time on Twitter, which video obviously will do that and get people to stay on the app. And then if he integrates tips, that's where people who are creators can make money off that, which brings revenue back to Twitter. I think that makes sense to cut out 50% of the workforce and add in a whole department for video and AI ad, whatever that's called, like ads and fucking videos. I think he's adding a department in there for that because I think there's a ton of money in advertising from video, and Twitter doesn't have that option to grow with video really because they don't have that algorithm. They don't have the department to do that. I think he fired a lot of different systems departments that just aren't bringing in revenue, and he's going to swap them for things that do. And that's why I think video is going to be that, because video inherently brings advertisers, and there's no really great way to advertise on Twitter that's going to bring them a lot of money without the videos.
So advertising needs to be fixed for sure.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, and it could be. I imagine that he's not doing one thing, right?
True.
I imagine the plan is to definitely increase ad revenue. I agree 100%, and that will incorporate video for sure. At the same time, move it more Web3. At the same time, keep grandma happy who looks at the news on it. At the same time, keep businesses who use it to update their customer. There's a lot that I imagine that he wants to.
Either way, Twitter's gonna be a fun place to be, and so that's good for us because that's where we live. So it's like, bet. Yeah, I'm down for it.
Cade, it's concerning to me for one person to be in charge of Elon Musk, to be in charge of like who can be on, who can be off. I don't know. I mean, it's a bit Stalin-like. I mean, it's not great. And the truth is, a DAO would be actually a great way to do this, right? To make Twitter proper decentralized, like proper. And hand it to the people while still increasing the things he needs to, the advertising.
And he could, if he had videos and advertising, he could do that. They wouldn't have to worry about the money.
Yeah, but the truth is that it is concerning that he doesn't like you. He can get rid of you. He likes me. He can put me on the front page. Whereas when it's a public company, there's oversight committees and you're answerable to your shareholders. Now it's not that. It's now he can do whatever he wants, and while he's doing what's right, maybe that's fine. But I mean, it's hectic to give one person that control over such a massive platform.
Well, it's interesting now that you say it like that, because I didn't really think about it in that way, and I wonder how much social media affects that situation. Like, because of social media, Elon Musk can more or less do whatever he wants, and people still will follow him and they don't care, which has always been the case even before social media. There's some people that could do whatever they want. People still like, we're okay with it. But now it's like on steroids. Like he literally can do anything he wants and it's fine. Like there's just no, like when you have that much money and that much access to influence and power, it's almost irrelevant. It just doesn't make any difference. And so because of that, I'm like, does Twitter just even if there's not all the right decisions that they make, is Twitter still going to grow and win? And does it even matter if it was right, if the goal is to take Twitter to the top or whatever he's trying to do with it? I don't know.
The scary thing is that if you think of all the major stuff that's happened in the last couple of years, Black Lives Matter, and a lot of the civil wars, the social media and Twitter specifically has been really instrumental in all of that.
Yeah.
Right. And the elections in different countries, the meddling in different countries. So I'm saying you've got a human being who's got his own views and his own. Maybe that's why I'm so disappointed with how he's handled this. Because this is the guy now in charge of free speech on Twitter. And this is how he's treating people. So what happens when he wants ABC president to win and not Z whatever, in whatever country? Let's say China, because that's where his factory is. He wants to try influence that for personal gain. And there's no oversight. There's no answer to anything. Like, it doesn't matter. Whatever he wants, he could effectively, without anyone knowing, mute out anyone who disagrees with certain things and amplify anyone who feels certain things and push that through.
But I think that's what Twitter, he's there to not do. I think he's there to not touch all that stuff, just to put it out there and let it sit.
But that's what he said.
Know? Huh?
Yeah, that's what he said. I'm just saying, how are you going to know?
Well, if it comes out and they're like, oh, Elon's been blocking people and like making them shadow banned, it's going to be like, oh, like, well, that goes against the entire reason he took over
He's already unblocking some people.
No, blocking people. If he's starting to block people, that he's like the whole reason he came on Twitter.
I mean, you can get a head engineer who signed a contract that he's never allowed to disclose anything to tweak the algorithm that it's showing a little bit more of people who are Democrat versus people who are Republican.
Well, that's why he took over, because he didn't want that. Like that was the whole reason he bought, is to take that out.
I know. I'm just saying, to have one person in control of it now that it's a private company is
true.
worrying.
Yeah,
it's worrying because there's no oversight to this. So that might be his intention until he feels very strongly about something. It doesn't matter what it is.
True.
One day and decides to, I don't know. It's scary. If you got one person ever, too much power, absolute power corrupts absolutely.
I'm just used to it. I think I'm just used, because that's the last 5-6 years on social media. We've just seen people do whatever they want. And I think I've just gotten used to it. I'm like, that's just how it goes. Like someone gets to the top and owns the big thing. They do whatever they want. People either jump on board to take some of that money off, like scrape off the top for some of the extra money, and also build a small platform for themselves on top of them. And then everybody else loses, and then they move on to another company, and then the cycle repeats. And so I think I've just gotten used to that. And I'm sort of desensitized, like, because I've seen him do whatever he wants, and then he keeps growing. And I'm like, oh, well, fuck it, dude. Just get on the Elon Musk train. Like, that's kind of where he's at as far as his brand. People are like, look, you can bet against him, or you can just be like, well.
Yeah, I hear you. I'm not betting against him. I just think you can still be human,
But his people are watching him. That's probably true. That's definitely true.
So what's actually interesting, a counterpoint to myself. Hold on. I'll just do this. Hold on. So a counterpoint to myself. So now I'm Cade arguing with myself. So apparently on the Twitter side of things, Biden's officials were meeting with the previous public Twitter execs and trying to get in there and influence and whatever on a regular basis. So that's come out. I know that for a fact. Trevor Noah mentioned it the other day. So just so that you've got a source for it, because that's quite a big allegation. And that they were regularly meeting and influencing in some degree. So even when it's not one person and you had it as a public company with oversight, it was still being tampered with, right? Sort of like you said that's why he wanted to take it over, because he wanted it to remain free speech. So yeah, listen, definitely interesting. Got its pros and cons. I'm bullish on it overall from a Web3 perspective. The fact that a Web3 native guy like Elon Musk has taken it over.
Yeah.
On a human perspective, I feel for the 3,000 whatever people who have lost their jobs. And I hope, as you said, that internally with their team leaders, it was handled in a better way than just an email.
Well, there's also things that come out, like people think he might be on the spectrum a little bit, so that's why he's blunt. He just doesn't care for the theatrics or the nuances or trying to worry about the feelings, because that's just not something that's like part of his reality as much. He just doesn't care. So like if you asked Elon Musk, like, hey, how would you fire someone in real life in a room just with them? He'd probably be like, the same way I just fired them online. Like I would probably just tell them you're fired and sorry.
So I do know that about him. So like I find him very interesting. Obviously, I think everyone does. So I do know that about him. I don't think he's even on the spectrum. I think he's definitely got that, like social cues.
I think it's Asperger's.
Things like
I
that.
think it's what I've read.
Yeah. I think it might be. I don't know if it is, but that sounds right.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, no, not medical advice.
not medical advice.
I saw a thing today that not fun, and it was just a tweet, but basically a guy said that a lawyer said. So really, this is a problem. A guy said that a lawyer said, right?
Fuck.
A guy said that a lawyer said saying not financial advice does not protect you from anything whatsoever.
That's what I've heard. I mean, what's her name got sued even after she put fucking #ad in the ad. I'm like, how are you getting like? Did I miss something on that one? Do you remember that story?
Yeah, but that's. Yeah, whatever. She also sort of said not financial advice. She also said, obviously, I don't know what it's going to do.
She said all the things, and she still got sued, which doesn't make any sense, because I know many people who didn't even say those things and got away with 100.
Anyone can get sued, Cade. I mean, I could sue you tomorrow. Whether there's merit to me suing you is the thing. So she got sued, and she decided not to even try fight it because she's busy, and $1 million is not worth a few days in court or preparing. So it doesn't mean that she was found guilty of it. She just settled out of court to get it to go away.
Speaking of $1 million,
it would have been interesting if it had gone to court to see what would have happened. Yeah.
Speaking of $1 million, Sporty Club